Battlefield 2042 was kind of a huge miss for the franchise.
I missed.
So for that reason, Battlefield 6 needs to knock it out of the park. Now, how are they going to do that? Well, let's talk about it.
Behind you.
So Battlefield 6 is on the way, and as of right now, we have very little in the way of gameplay footage, official gameplay footage. And the reason I emphasize official gameplay footage is because there are leaks all over Reddit, all over the place about this game. So officially we don't know much, but unofficially I pretty much have all the details, all the leaks, all the things that have been talked about up until this point. I just want to start by saying I've been a Battlefield fan since 1942. Not the year 1942, but since Battlefield 1942. If I was born in 1942, I'd be an 83-year-old man.
Stay a while and listen.
1942 is where I started, but that's not really where I grew the passion for this franchise. But it did introduce me to a new style of shooter I hadn't played before. Battlefield 2 is where I really sunk my teeth in. That's where I played every day with my buddies. We had a squad. It was great. There's been some great games. Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4 are most of everyone's favorites. And then there's been some not so good games like Battlefield 5, Battlefield 1. Battlefield 2042 was the last one to come out, the most recent game, and it didn't really deliver. There was a lot of shortcomings. We can talk about some of that too. But the main reason I'm here is to talk about what Battlefield 6 needs to do to win back their loyal fans.
I think he's up there somewhere. Yep. I don't see him. Oh, he's on the tower above us. Loading Amazon Alexa. Don't do that.
A quick disclaimer before we start. I know you're going to come at me anyway, but these are my opinions. Suck it. I don't claim to know what's best for Battlefield 6 or the franchise as a whole. I've just been playing this series for decades at this point. Decades? Gross. I'm old. This is just what I think will help get the series back on track. And also, I've seen all the bitching and moaning online enough to know what most people want, what most people are looking for in a new game. That being said, it seems to be pretty unanimous across the internet that everybody wants class-specific guns. And wouldn't you know, DICE is going in the opposite direction. Like, they seem to be doing this whole Battlefield Labs thing so they can get all of our feedback and understand what the fans want from their franchise. But that seems to be something that's unanimous across the internet. I haven't personally come across anybody that seems to be happy that they're allowing every gun for every class. The guns aren't tied to the classes. So it seems like what they're trying to do again is have perks based on the class you pick. If you pick assault class and then you pick an assault gun, you get special perks for picking the assault gun as that class. So they're trying to incentivize the player to use those guns for that class, but they're not hard locking you to do so. Now, maybe there's a way to make this work and to make this fun and balanced, but I really don't see it. What I see happening is people figuring out which perks are the best, figuring out the best combination like they always do, and everybody running the same kit with the same gadgets and the same guns. Yeah, I just feel like the safer option is to put the guns tied to the classes. If you do that, it encourages people to try different classes to try out the different weapons, and then they might try out a totally different playstyle they never would have in the first place. Oh shit, if I want to use this gun, I have to be an engineer. Oh, okay, I didn't know engineer had a repair tool. Let me walk around behind my buddy's tank and repair him while he's destroying everything. It just makes sense to me, I don't know. I mean, it could work either way, it just depends on what they do, but I'm on team lock the guns to classes. And side note, did you guys know that Battlefront 2 is popping off right now? Apparently they've hit all-time records for their player counts. I guess the resurgence is in hopes that they get a Battlefront 3 in the future. Pretty cool though. Okay, back to BF6.
I'm gonna teabag this guy. Get fucked.
One thing I'm sick to death of hearing about when there's a new Battlefield releasing is, this is gonna be our biggest Battlefield yet! Bigger does not mean better, ever. Well, maybe not never, but awkward pause. Okay, anyway, So bigger in this case does not mean better. A big map does not equal a better map. A lot of the maps in Battlefield 2042 were so wide open and empty and boring. There's nothing to hide behind. Half the time you get caught with your dick in your zipper, meaning you get caught out in the open and there's nowhere to hide behind a rock or anything. There's very little cover in 75% of every map. And I'm just so sick of the wide open spaces. Just because your name is Battlefield doesn't mean you have to have half of your fucking levels to be a big ass field. Be creative. Think of different ways to engage the player. Think of different ways to incorporate close combat gameplay with tank and jet and helicopter gameplay, vehicle gameplay. I'm just so sick of these big maps that don't have any kind of substance to them. Like, if you're gonna have a big open field for starters and you're gonna have like tanks that are fighting on it, maybe have an underground area underneath that where the infantry can run through a tunnel system and that's how they can get to and from like big buildings or something. I don't know. Be creative. Think of new ideas. The fact that all these maps are just wide open spaces is so fucking lame, man. I hate it. I don't have any fun getting shot in the back from across the map half the time. One of my favorite Battlefield DLCs of all time was the Close Quarters DLC. I think that was for BF4. I always get confused if that's for Battlefield 3 or 4, but I think it was BF4. The Close Quarters DLC had so many cool maps, man. Just because Battlefield has to accommodate all the vehicles doesn't mean you can't have some close quarter maps too. Or have big areas within each map that allow for infantry gameplay, aka close quarters gameplay. A lot of the maps on that one were just gold. Now, I'm just gonna list off a number of things that I'd like to see in the next Battlefield and changes they could make to just head in a better direction and keep the players happy longer. So first off, like I've already said, don't forget to cater to infantry too. If you're gonna have a big ass map, also have some cool shit in it for the infantry players. Second, allow players to rent servers, or bring back Battlefield Portal, but figure out how to make it better because hardly anyone was playing it unless they were XP boosting. Stop trying to make the biggest Battlefield yet. Have class-specific weapons. People want it. Like maybe have a gun rotation or something once a month where a certain gun is in rotation and no matter your class, you can use the gun. I don't know. Maybe that's horrible. That might be a fucking horrible idea, but figure out something, not what you're doing ain't it. Make sure to get the game into a very playable state very early. When Battlefield 2042 released, I had such stupid problems. I had one problem that actually made me stop playing the game for a few months. I would load into the match and my camera would be aiming down. And it took me a long time to figure out that it's because I had a controller plugged in. And then even if I unplugged the controller, the bug still happened. So I had to uninstall like the controller drivers in control panel. I don't know, it was something crazy like that. But what I'm getting at is fix the bugs early so players don't suffer and leave your game. Because I did. I left Battlefield 2042 really early. And it wasn't just that bug, there was other shit too, I just don't remember right now. Also, fuck heroes, we don't want heroes ever again.
Oh, that's you, bro. I don't know where he is. I don't know where he is. I'm fucking down!
Okay, I killed one.
Come get me.
Oh,
He's gonna kill me, he's gonna finish me! Ah!
I'm coming.
He's right by my body. Oh, he's dead, he's dead. You're the best.
Okay, let's talk about game modes now. This one's a little tricky because I'd love to have everything in there. I'd love to have all the best modes from all the good Battlefield games, but I also understand that if you do that, you run the risk of separating your player base too much and then you don't have enough people playing each mode. In a perfect world, I'd have them all. I'd have Conquest, Domination, Deathmatch, Rush, some kind of tactical mode, Battle Royale, Gunmaster. Gunmaster is a must-have, and I think it's important to have as many modes as you can at launch so you can see where your player base is at. You can see what we're wanting to play more. And this is where the server browser also comes in. If you had a server browser and players that had their own servers, they could run servers based on all the different modes you offer. So if most people aren't wanting to play some kind of tactical mode within a Battlefield game, fine. But this guy over in Texas has a server where you can. You know what I mean? Like, I really liked how that used to work in the Battlefield 3 and 4 era. The server browser had its own fucking set of problems for sure, but there was a lot of things that it did right. It helped certain modes survive and kind of created almost new versions of modes. I guess this is a good time to talk about the fact that we know a whole lot about the Battle Royale that's coming to Battlefield 6. We have the leaks, so let's look at them. Here we go. So it looks like we're going to have missions, weapon drops, an oversight system, I don't know what that means yet, vehicle containers, class chests, and lootable vehicles. So I'm not going to read all of this. You guys can pause and read all you want, but I'm just going to get into the details that kind of pique my interest. And the first thing I noticed is that they're talking about a collapsing NXC flame front, which I guess means they're going to have the flame wall coming in like they did in Battlefield 5. And I'm fine with that, I guess. It just seems like we're at the point where we've overdone these Battle Royales so much that I kind of was hoping for something new. But I do like that they're focusing on missions, which gives you more to do in a Battle Royale mode. I remember in Battlefield 5, it just felt really empty. It didn't feel like there was a whole lot to do. And then you'd be running around with your buddy and run into a tank and you're like, well, I lose. Like there wasn't really much counterplay to the tanks from what I remember. I do like that they've kept the second chance mechanic because there's nothing worse than spawning in or parachuting in or whatever and then landing, doing a little bit of looting and dying right away. At least this gives you a second chance to kind of do something. The only problem with that is that in the hazard zone mode in 2042, people would spawn in with their second chance and they would just land on you. They would just parachute right above you. And I'm sure there was some kind of message that said like, an enemy is parachuting in, but it was never loud enough and you could never hear, well, I would never hear that these guys were parachuting in right above me. And they would just, I would kill them. They would parachute in, land above me, kill me, and then I'm dead. Like, it just felt shitty, man. Maybe they need to limit where you're able to parachute in from. I don't know what the answer to that is. I just hope they figure out something. Dying to an enemy who just parachutes in on your location is crap, man. It's not good. It feels bad, bruh.
Get out. What the fuck? What was that? What was that shit? I want to punch something real bad. Real bad.
It really does seem like they're just copying all the things that worked from other Battle Royales, which could be good. It really seems like there's a lot to do in this Battle Royale, so I'm excited to try it. Okay, so the oversight system. This is what I guess you could call the innovation in the Battle Royale mode. It basically allows players to stay in the action by controlling remote cameras, drones, and turrets. I guess it just depends on how powerful they're going to make all these tools, but that is interesting, and I do like that it's trying to keep your dead teammate still having, like, giving him something to do, keeping him in the fun, where he's not just like alt-tabbing and going to browse the internet while he's waiting for you to die, you know? So that's positive. That's a good thing. As long as it's implemented well, I'm all for it. So my last concern for Battlefield 6 is the microtransactions and how they're going to run their shop or their store or whatever you call it. I'm a huge advocate of earnables. I really feel like if you're paying full price for a game, $80 and up, fucking even $70 and up, if you're paying that much for a game, everything in the game should be earnable. I know that's a hot take. Some people are like, well, they got to make their money somehow, bro. I get it. But you've paid $70 for the game, man. People, like, companies are greedy these days. Corporations don't need every game to make them $1 billion or constant revenue that never fucking ends. I understand these games cost money to make, but if you're paying 70, 80, 90, 100 bucks for a game, I think you should be able to earn everything in game within reason. You know, allow the gamers that want to just buy this stuff, allow them the option to do that with real money. But for those of us who want to grind the fuck out of the game to get that one skin we've been waiting for, that feels good. It gives the gamer a reason to play the game. It feels earned, because it is. Street Fighter V, for example, when that game came out, it offered everything, I believe, pretty like 90% of things were available through fight money, and you could earn fight money by playing the game. And you could pay real money to get all this stuff, but if you grinded the game, you could get access to these things through fight money. And I loved that. It felt good. It's a huge reason to keep people in your game. So I'm not against stores or microtransactions. I just think they should be handled in the right way. Like, I'm looking at you, Overwatch, and fucking Blizzard in general. Who's gonna pay $60 for a skin? I know these people exist. I don't get it. It's one in-game item and you're gonna pay $60 for it? No skin is worth $60, man. I don't care what you say. No skin is worth that. A horse fucking armor for $60? No. An Overwatch skin for $60? No. Whatever. If you guys want to buy them and enable this kind of behavior, that's on you. I refuse. I'll buy some skins and games and things that are worth like 10, 15 bucks, but I ain't paying that fucking 60 bucks. And the way you get them to not charge that much is to never buy it, by the way. Okay, rant over. I'm sorry, I went off there. I got a little heated about this shit. But anyway, that's everything that I feel Battlefield 6 needs and the direction it should head. Let me know if you think otherwise. Let me know if you disagree with every single thing I said. But I'm looking forward to Summer Games Fest here soon to see if we get more footage, to see if we get more information about it, to see if we get an open beta date. I don't know, something like that. That'd be great. Also, if you've made it this far into the video, I thank you. You've given me your time, and that's all I could ask for. That's awesome. I appreciate you. You're the best. If by chance you want to see something else I've done recently, check out my Arc Raiders video. I put a lot of work into that one. I'm pretty proud of it. So check that one out too and let me know what you think. With that, thank you humans. Have a lovely day.